Welcome back, this is CBH4K, and this is XCOM 2, or The Chosen, and it's another one of my guides. This time we're going to focus on the strategic layer of the game. Now, the strategic layer is probably one of the most important part. It's like equally as important as the battlescape, because if you lose any of them too badly, like if you lose a mission, that's okay, you can come back from it. But if you lose the battle, if you lose the strategic layer, that's basically losing the war. So you have to make sure you succeed here. But don't worry, I'm going to show you the basics of this screen, and I'm also going to teach you the basics of the strategic layer and of the screen, which is your base. This is your base layout, and a few tips that will help you along the way. Well, mostly in the early parts. Now, before we get started, I'd like to first say thank you for stopping by. And if you could, leave a like if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel if you want more content like this. Plus, click the bell icon to get yourself notified every time I put up a new video. Okay, with that out of the way, let's begin. Alright, now this is basically your base. It sort of has like an ant farm look into it, just like in XCOM and such. But unlike that one where you were stuck in a singular base in underground, you are above ground in a mobile base. See the clouds in the background? You fly from place to place, and you fly from place to place on the geoscape. But we're not going to be looking at the geoscape right now. We're going to be looking at the base screen, because the base screen is really important. As I said before, you need to have a build going in your mind of what to do, what to build, what to... and such and such. Now, let's look at the very basics of the screen, which is over in the top left-hand corner. You see right here, this is objectives. These are your current story objectives. Pay attention to those. If you don't do those in a certain amount of time, you will lose the game. But that being said, there are ways to slow the your loss in the game, and it's basically this bar called the Avatar Project. And all you have to do is make sure that bar doesn't fill up, and the timer doesn't go out on you once the bar fills up. But none of that should intimidate you. You should focus on building up your resources, building up your equipment, your gear, your soldiers, getting them leveled up. Those should be your main focus, and the stories should you should come to that when you feel ready, when you feel like you can do it. Now, off the objectives list, on to the top right hand corner, where you see all your resources laid out for you in a very simple manner. First is power. Power is basically how much energy you have to build new spots in your base. Like if you want to build something new in this area of the map, this is the part of the base where you can build new rooms. Now each room gives you a particular set of things. Like over here in the tactics school, guerrilla tactics school, you'll get to train up a soldier into a specialty without taking them on a mission, and you'll be able to increase your squad size. And you'll also be given a number of other bonuses depending on how far you've leveled your soldiers. You'll need at very least a sergeant to start getting some of the goodies in this room. Also, this is how you build a new. Now you just click on it and you hit the build button. Now 3 power is the standard for when you want to power a new room. So no matter what you want to build, it's always going to require 3. Almost always. There's some exceptions to that, but those are like advanced rooms, so I wouldn't really worry too much at them at the beginning. But just keep in mind how much power it costs and how much money it costs to build one. Now that out of the way, let's talk about how you build in your base. You'll need these new personnel in your base called engineers. Over here in the Again, in the top right past the power. Right past the power is NG. Now, those are the number of engineers you have. We currently have 2. So I have 1 clearing out debris. That's the only way you can build a room is by you first have to clear out the debris. So that takes some time as well. 5 days. Don't worry. You quick speed. You basically it's game time. You're not gonna actually spend 5 whole actual days. You're just gonna have a scan going and it'll run quickly. It'll basically be found fast forward. You will get the benefits within, I say, a few hours. Well, not a few hours, but a few minutes. If nothing gets in your way. If a mission doesn't pop up, then you're fine. If a mission pops up, you have to take care of the mission. Then you can go back and spend time. Next is science. All right, now we're going to take a walk over to the research area, and it's right over here. Now, research basically means you get new equipment, new weapons, new technology, just a whole thing. If you want it to do it, you're gonna have to build. Get scientists, and they'll cut down on the time it takes to research things. And research is key because you can only do certain story things and get equipment and new equipment by going to Tegan. He's your head researcher. He's always over there. He's always telling you about, hey, you gotta get more research stuff, man. I need new research. And over here we have alloys and Elerium, both of which you need to do. Is resources you need to build more advanced things in your base, like advanced rooms, advanced equipment, etc. Now, here is Intel. Now, Intel enables you to make contacts on the geoscape. Now, contacts on the geoscape is basically scanning a new area. Like, for instance, if we got to go over there, scan it, and then it'll basically fall under your purview, and it'll be on the contacts list. Now, we don't have contact number in here just yet, but it's sort of like you get that a little bit. You get that fairly early. But contacts also comes right here before power and engine. You'll need a available contact in order to have it in your basically your umbrella of your resistance. See, it's blue over here. This is blue because well, I've already scanned it. Well, I haven't scanned it. It's blue because it's your home base. It's your starting one. But to scan it, you need to pay Intel in order to start the scanning process. You need to pay a certain amount of Intel. Now, Intel is also used at the black market to basically just get some supply, and that is the one right next to it. And you also get other like goodies too, but you'll usually spend that on supply to get more supplies. And now supplies is basically your new credits. It's basically your cash. You basically always need. See, look at how much you need supply to build buildings in your base and build rooms and to build items. This is Shen. She is your chief engineer. She will build you all your equipment. You'll build all your items, your armor. These are grayed out right now because we haven't researched the thing that enables us to build those advanced things yet. Yeah. She's talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. Pay her no mind at the moment. And right next to that is income. You get paid that on I would say a monthly basis. You every 20 days. Is it 20 days or 21? I think it might be 21 days. Every 21 or 21 days. 20 or 21 days. You get paid a stipend from your various resistant contacts. And that's why it's important to increase that number as quickly as you can. Once you do, you get paid that on this 21st day. But you can't just have it. You have to go there and scan on that area, and you'll get that boost to your income. And you'll get that supply it in, you have it added into your current supply. That's how it works. Now, bottom right, that is your timeline. That's how much time it needs for it to expire, and it comes your way. We got 9 days before our supply. Before we need to go looking for a supply drop, and we have to go looking for that on the geoscape. They don't hand it to us. We have to go looking. Also, then there's beyond that is the time, and in the middle is basically your various tabs, your command. Basically show your objectives and such. Your report, which shows you what your power and everything else is being, basically the state of your base. And finally, your XCOM archives, which is basically your in-game wiki. Take a look around whenever you get a chance. Now, Armory. That's where you keep all your soldiers. You can view photos you've taken on missions. You can also do photos if you want by selecting a soldier and such and such. Play well around with that. I'm going to let you discover that on your own. And memorial, that's where all your dead soldiers go, and they put their names on the memorial wall. It's sort of like XCOM Within and Unknown, but it's much more detailed here. I want you guys to look at that yourselves. Don't get your soldier killed on purpose to do that now. Alright? Recruits are basically, you can recruit a new soldier. You can see their face and little backstories, date of birth and origin, country, and all that stuff. If you want to. Next, you can just view your soldier roster. Just look through them. See who's who, sees what's what. Like, wow, this guy. He has an interesting look. He has a very interesting look. Yeah, I think I might take that guy on the mission just because he's just so weird. Yeah, you can also customize your soldiers here. So go nuts. And engineering just takes you to engineering, and the build facility tab is there. Also build items. You check your inventory, etc. And you can view your engineers. And the same thing for research. You can go over here, access your archives, what you've researched already. View scientists. We have none, so we're probably going to have to go on a mission to get a scientist. I got 2 engineers. I got lucky with that. I got scanner rumor, and I got a free engineer, which is always good. It's always good. Now, let's talk about tips and tricks. Well, not tips. No, not tips and tricks, but let's talk about tips. Alright, let's talk about tips. Okay, so your first thing you want to build has to be either a guerrilla tactics school or a resistance ring. I think I clicked, yeah, I think I have the special storyline for that, so I don't get this resistance ring, or I have to do the storyline, then I get the chance to build a resistance ring. But yeah, you may want to build a guerrilla tactics school or a resistance ring. And then the one you didn't build that one next. That'll be like your opening play. Let's see. Workshop. I would recommend, for those of you who want to be a little bit daring, try building the laboratory first. Now here's why. That'll increase your research speed incredibly. But it takes like, how much power does it cost? It costs 3 power and it takes 20 days to build. Also note the build time when you rebuild stuff. Yeah, that's gonna take like almost a whole entire pay period for that to finish. But doing that will mean we can do research real fast. I have a current playthrough where I just invested in that, and man, has it paid. It has paid off hugely. Alright. So, I talked about that. Now that's basically the main bits of it. What I would build in the items here, I would start with a flashbang. I'd very least get one flashbang, because that's good for knocking out special abilities of your enemies, and it also knocks out Overwatch too. That's a little unknown fact. A flashbang will knock out Overwatch, and it will debuff their movement and aim for at least a turn. So that's a good way to deal with a pod that has just popped up on you and you're not sure how you're going to deal with it. If you have somebody with your flashbang, equipped with a flashbang, have it. Use it. Also, I kind of recommend you have 2 flashbangs. You'll miss out on the med kit, but if you want to run 2 flashbangs, that seems like a good idea. I sometimes do a med kit and a flashbang, but if you say like, look, I need 2 flashbangs because things go nuts in my mission. It's like, hey, I get it. 2 flashbangs. It's basically a nice safety net. Now what else? I think we could look at the bridge. Yeah, let's look at the bridge. Alright. So, we can't do contacts right now because it's too early in the game. I did a few missions off camera. Well, I did like 1 mission off camera, and I more or less, yeah, I think we can. I say we scan for a bit. See what happens. Oh, see, we got a mission. Now, when you get a mission, you can't scan. You have to just go to that mission. So you see, this is launch mission. I have to go there. Yeah. Sometimes you can back out and you can force the game to go away, but there is consequences for that. You do not want to skip missions. You want to do them as soon as they come up. As soon as they come up, you hit launch mission. You have a back right here, but that's his launch mission. That was a cutscene, by the way. This is Central. We're doing like a special mission. I don't want to spoil that for you guys. But yeah, this is Central. He does basically all your like main mission objective stuff. He always tells you, "Okay, Commander, we gotta focus on stuff. Like, you're not the boss of me." Say that to him every time he yells at you. You're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of you, and don't you ever forget it. All right. Yeah, these guys look good. Okay, so she's pretty cool looking. I'll take her. Take the other guy. No, not you. Yeah, we'll take the stranger. You know what? Let me just cut off to a advanced playthrough. Okay, we're back. So this is a more later in the campaign, and as you can see, I have resistance contacts up here in the corner now. I've got 3 out of 5. I should get to that more quickly. But yeah, I think I'm pretty good right now. I've got a few scientists. I got a few more engineers. Yeah, everything is going pretty solid on this playthrough. Let's see. Oh, I'm also getting the Scilab. Yeah, that's right. We got in the Scilab. That is an advanced building in our base. We got barrier. That's not good. So, oh yeah, dark events. Let's talk about dark events. Dark events happen they're like a random thing that happens. You can only have like 3 dark events. They're about to happen on the geoscape at a time. Let's go look at the geoscape. Yeah, so we got like a mission we gotta do. Dark events. So yeah, there's another 2 that can come up. I can use intel to reveal to show what's gonna happen. Now, to counter a dark event, you'll get like a guerrilla ops mission. They will happen once every pay period, so you have to succeed. And there's 3 different ones, so you can only stop one of these dark events. So I would say read this carefully and pick one that won't completely screw you up. Like Undying Loyalty is pretty bad. I would recommend you focus on that one. And oh yeah, the black market. Let's look at the black market. So the black market is where you sell and buy stuff. So you can buy intel, use intel to buy some supplies. Now, I just wanted to give you like a brief understanding. And as you can see, I decided to focus mostly on building up getting resistance contact. Now, resistance contacts like, well, not resistance contact, but resistance rumors. These are called rumors. If you complete them, if you finish scanning them, you get a bonus. Like this one gives Avenger power. This gives me supplies. There's some that gives you personnel. Doing rumors is kind of a trap because it takes away time from doing other things. You should focus on building up your resistance networks. Okay? All right, let me show you the building. So the resistance comms here. This is where you build. This is where you build more. Expand your resistance contacts. Like normally it's 3 out of 3. It's 3. You start with 3. But if you want more, you got to build one of these buildings, and they are worth 2. If you add an engineer here, you'll get another 2 contacts added to your umbrella. So I would sincerely recommend that you put a lot of effort into building up your resistance contact. I wouldn't say early, but at some point in the game, like after the second pay period, you should really have at least 3. Your 3 out of 3 contacts should be filled up. Also, don't forget to build a tower. I'll show you what I mean. A tower, see this right here, that blue tower thing right here? You got to go to a place, and you got to click on it, and you got to use... Now, they cost supply. Now, the supply increases each time, but if you build it, the connecting region, you see this little blue line? That means they're connected. The connecting region gets a discount on intel so that you can scan it more effectively without breaking the bank with your intel. So it's 44 intel. Let's check over here because there's a tower going from here to here. Let's see how much that costs. Oh, it costs 40. Oh, that seems relatively cheap. There's one going from here to here. How much does this cost? That costs 80. It takes and also factor in 40 intel times link distance to nearest radio. That's the one on commander difficulty. I don't know the one on normal difficulty. But it basically costs more the further away you are from an HQ. Like if you're all the way over here, this is going to cost a lot of intel to get here. Like a lot of intel. Like this is going to cost, like, I would say, that'll cost like 80 because we have a tower right here. This would cost 80 if we didn't have a tower. If we didn't have a tower, this would probably cost like 120. This would cost 120 if we didn't have the tower. So build those towers. Seriously. The towers increase in cost every time you build one, but it'll make your network. It'll let you spend less intel. It also increases your income when you build a tower in a region. So keep that in mind. It's a good investment. Okay, view room. Oh, we can just view. So we can do another resistance com. I would want to talk about workshops, but not right now. Also, doing so, you'll activate the continents bonus. So we get greater resolve. Wounded soldiers can be put back in combat. So that's another benefit to doing resistance contacts. Also, in case you hadn't noticed, now we got 2 little orange dots in the corner. These are, well, I would say these are free engineers because they got done with this task, so we can put them on other stuff. And this little red marker in the lower left corner, it basically signifies that there's an unstaffed engineer. So your alerts are also in the corner here, so keep that in mind. Also, the geoscape button is right here too. Yeah. I didn't cover that, but yeah, I covered it now. Yeah, and you can look in the personnel over here to see all your different personnels, your different engineers, your whatnot. Yeah, that does it. So up here I would do guerrilla tactics, resistance ring, training center, maybe infirmary or laboratory. Because the infirmary is a good room. It's a really good room. It cuts down the injury time for your guys to recover when they get injured in a fight. So it might be a good idea to build an infirmary early. As early as you can, anyway. And the proving ground is basically where you do experimental weapons and stuff like that. And I won't spoil what the Scilab does, so you just have to be surprised by that one. The workshop. Yeah, I somewhat recommend this in vanilla XCOM 2, but with War of the Chosen, you get a lot of options to get a new engineer. So okay, what the workshop does, there's no adjacency bonus really in XCOM 2, except for having an engineer. Like right here, if we put a workshop right here, and we put an engineer in it, that engineer will staff it and produce 2 gremlins, like gremlin units, like the little androids, like little droids or something like that, little drones that fly around. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It's so cool. You put them in here. You can put them in either on top, bottom, or left or right. So we put an engineer here. We can put a gremlin in there. We can put a gremlin in there. So we can build. So we can have like, basically it's trading 1 engineer for 2. And if you upgrade this room, you can trade 2 engineers for 4 engineers. But here's the thing: you get a lot of engineers, and there's no real reason to build that room. Now, if you're having problems in the beginning of the game, at the early game, and you don't have that many engineers, then I recommend you build a workshop. But if you're mostly fine, I would skip a workshop. I would skip it. Next is the laboratory and resistance ring. Let's talk about that. Resistance ring. You can do covert actions. Now, covert actions mean you can send your soldiers on a mission. While they're on the mission, they can they'll get a buff that's permanent when they succeed at it, because they usually succeed. They don't fail it. They might get wounded, they might get captured, or they might get an ambush, which is basically a mission where you take control and you try to get them to evac. That's pretty intense. It gets pretty intense. Keep in mind, permadeath is always a factor, so keep that in mind. Let's see. You can do other missions, and doing this mission will get us 44 intel. Yeah. So doing other missions like that will get you rewards. It'll get you equipment and various other things. Now, do I want to give you an advanced... you know what? I don't want to tell you too much. I want you guys to know like the very basics of setting this up and beginning a XCOM 2 playthrough. You know what? Let's look at the resistance orders. Yes. These are basically buffs for the geoscape. Like here gives you 3 mobility at the start of a concealment mission when you're concealed and you're using the concealment mechanic. And this, all mission timers are increased by 2 turns. That is huge. That is huge. If you are suffering from timers, like I said, and you get that buff, oof. It's great. You'll love it. You get resource rewards. There's a number of buffs. Now, it's random from playthrough to playthrough. So, if you tell me, like, I got a bunch of resistance orders, I didn't like it, so I restarted the campaign. It's like, okay. But keep in mind, you can do covert actions that get you new resistance orders. That's about it. I think that should be enough. You guys got the general idea of what you need to do, and I gave you a few like basic starting build tips. Build a guerrilla tactics, build a resistance ring. If you feel like you want to take an adventure, then build a laboratory. It's expensive, and it'll take a while to get up, but if you get it up and you get that research going fast, oh man, you'll be going through the research tree at lightning speed. I'm at plate armor, and I should have been past that already. But if I had built a laboratory, I would have been way past plate armor. Way past it. And then maybe an infirmary. An infirmary is a solid investment. A training center is decent too, but only if you have bonds. If you get soldier bonds pretty quickly, then I would use a training center. Also, you can train abilities on your soldiers, so you give them special abilities. Like this guy can give them Shredder, even though he's just a specialist. So I can really just enhance. This enhances your troops a great deal. I would recommend you build a training center either on the second or the third floor. If you say like, well, I want it now, then okay, do it on the first floor. And a power relay, you should build that on the second floor. You should build that on the second floor, because you should have enough power to build 3 rooms. And that should be in the resistance ring and the guerrilla tactics and whatever else you want to build. Like the dealer's choice here should be the top floor, and your power relay should be here, and your resistance comm should also be your next building. You should build that next, and maybe a proving ground, and finally, I wouldn't say leftovers, but whatever you feel you need after that, build it here. And then maybe another resistance comm, and maybe another power here. Oh, and the shielded power coil. It's basically a free room with no power needs whatsoever. So I would put it there. Also, if you have, if you put something in the shielded power coil room, like a power, like a power relay, you put the power relay there, then you'll get a boost to your power, a massive boost. So, but they're usually down on the second, and usually down on the second and third, or the third or fourth floor. They don't come on the first or second. You're gonna have to dig down deep for them. It costs more time and more, like for instance, like digging up here only costs like 1 engineer. It was like 5 days. Down here it's like 30 days for 1 engineer. So you're gonna have to put like 3 engineers to make that go like faster. In fact, let me show you. There you go. There you go. There you go. Boom. Boom. 9 days now. 9 days. Okay. Yeah. That's about it. Yeah. You can make a decent attempt at a playthrough now with these tips. If you need more tips, or if you like what you saw here and you want to see more guides like this, click the like button. Leave a comment asking for what other tips you would like to see on this channel, and what other, maybe you have to another strategic game. I do play a lot of them. Put them in the comments, and I'll put that into my mind as a factor of what I'll do in the future for this channel. And if you could push the subscribe button to get more videos like this. And once you push that subscribe button, you might as well just click the bell icon as well, So you'll get an alert where every time I put something new on this channel, you can be one of the first people to catch on to it. I do a lot of Let's Plays. I do a lot of guides. I started doing guides. So, catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.